Well, hi and welcome to Practice Makes Parent, where we understand it's not about perfection, but about transformation. I'm Dr. Danny Huerta.
And I'm Rebecca St. James. And today we are talking about the holidays, Thanksgiving, Christmas, and the New Year. And it's just Danny and I for this podcast, no guest. We are each other's guests.
That's right. Here we are
So
together.
flying solo today. Yeah. But it's fun to really have the time to kind of dive deep on some of these holidays and the joy and some of the challenges as a family and how to keep solid perspective and wisdom as to what to focus on in these holidays. And yeah, holidays can be a lot relationally too, right, Denny?
Oh, it
Like
can be.
for
There's a lot of
families,
spending
right?
time with family.
Layers.
Well, and then when you're
Layers.
married, trying to figure out the schedules of where you're going to spend Christmas, where you're going to spend
100%.
Thanksgiving. And for young
Sensitive.
couples, that is a very important thing to settle pretty quickly, early on.
Maybe even pre-marriage.
Yeah, that's right.
Maybe even
Pre-marriage.
pre-marriage.
Very wise. Very
Part of
wise.
premarital counseling, sort it out where you're going to be. I don't know how you guys do it, you and Heather, Danny, but we do the trade out. And maybe a lot of families do this too. So it's a Thanksgiving and then a Christmas with the small bones. And then it's Thanksgiving with small bones and then Finks have Christmas. So we kind of do that and it's different. It's Texas and California with the Finks if we do Christmas, and it is brunch with them. And then if my family, small bone clan in Nashville, it is traditional Christmas fare. So it'd be, or what I considered, traditional. So it'd be turkey and chicken and a major roast and potatoes and all of that. So yeah, it's wild, like the back and forth and the difference and the traditions, but it's fun. Like I just kind of embrace the differences.
Yeah, the traditions
How about for
are
you
rich.
guys?
Yeah, I mean, the traditions I love. I've been loving getting to know Heather's family's traditions over the years, and our son is getting ready to get married here in the next year, and we've been preparing him for that. Hey, they have different traditions. We're going to need to navigate, the different holidays, and what we've told them, just as hopefully a gift to them, is don't feel the pressure from us. Don't worry about our emotions and that you're doing something wrong as you're trying to navigate, trying to figure out your own home and your own rhythms and how you want to do Christmas. We want you guys to establish your home and know that we want to spend time with you. And so let's figure this out with her family and how we're going to be able to have a rhythm of having you guys participate in the traditions and celebrations with the bigger family, the larger family.
That's really wise. You guys are smart showing that grace, because I feel like when there's grace like that and it's like, we're just supportive of your new family and there's that kind of like, we want to be with you, but we also show grace and understanding. I think they're going to want to be with you guys more when there's that kind of grace, right? When it's not clingy. So good job.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Rebecca. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Well, I think we would have loved that early on in our marriage because we felt that pressure
100%.
of going, oh, we need to
100%.
be here, and oh, we don't want to upset our parents. We don't want to, and we don't want to miss out on the gathering because the large family gatherings are so rich, and you have some great foods. We've done tacos at Christmas time.
Oh, how's a Mexican?
Side.
How's a Mexican Christmas?
One of the things that we do that a lot of families probably have heard about recently is Three Kings Day. We celebrate that.
Tell me about that.
That's
unfamiliar 6th. To me.
In Mexico, they'll do a gift exchange during that time, and it's this idea that that's when the gifts came. To Jesus, and that's when the kids are getting their gifts and getting to open the presents on January 6th. And so the way our family has done the tradition, you have a bread that has a baby Jesus inside in one or two or three places. And the idea is that if you get that little plastic baby Jesus in your piece, you're going to have a party a month later for everybody there. So it extends the gatherings, the being together, the relational aspect of what Jesus was about, and that is to gather together and break bread together, be together. And so whoever get now they it used to be one Jesus. Now you have three or four because it's so expensive, I think, to have parties. And so it divides out the expense. So you have four people dividing it out.
So if your teeth hit that little baby Jesus in the bread, and then you've
Parties
got a
on.
dentist trip, and then you've got to do a party a month or two later. This is
That's
like,
right.
it is quite an expensive little
It's
venture
quite
you
a
guys
deal.
do. I've never heard about that. Yeah. Sounds very fun though.
It is
That's
fun.
really
It
sweet
is.
to
Yes.
extend the season like that. I like
We've
it.
we've I do have to say my mom tried to have a lot of intentionality on Thanksgiving and at Christmas time and around New Year's, having a deeper level of thought. And one thing that families can do is an Advent type of calendar.
Mm-hmm.
We've done some of
Mm-hmm.
those with our kids throughout their years growing up, and we've actually created one this year, Rebecca, that families will not want to miss. I'm
I'm gonna
excited.
get this one.
No,
Tell about it, because it's amazing. It's
it's
really amazing.
you can get it on your phone, and it gives you a calendar that's beautifully illustrated, easy to navigate, and each day you click on that day, and you start off with a family reading of scripture, and so it gives you a dramatized experience with video, so you can follow the text into the text
Wow.
reading for that day, and then some discussion questions that are age appropriate, and a video from Ray Vanderlaan on the topic of whether it's hope or love or joy, whatever it is. He gives
Mm.
some background to that, and so it gives you some great teaching. It sets it up for you, easy to use. You can do 15 minutes. You can make it 30 minutes, however long you want to, but you don't have to prepare for that. And so in the Advent calendar, you get 8 of those kinds of days in the 25 that are in the calendar. Then you've got ornaments that you can make. You have a Brio quiz that's put in there for one of the days.
Wow.
You've got recipes that you can try throughout
Wow.
the Advent experience, and a lot of great illustrated content there for you to interact with. And so, as families, I hope you enjoy it. Really, the goal for this was to make it very easy for you to do on a daily basis and to interact with this idea that Jesus is coming. His birth, as the celebration of his birth is coming, but he's also coming again. And just that idea
Mm.
that we can be celebrating that. So the Advent calendar, you can find it in the show notes below. The link is there, and then leave it bookmarked so you can come back to it each day. And again, we wanted to
Mm.
make it a very simple tool for you as a parent this Christmas season.
Mm. Mm-hmm. Well, when it comes to advent calendars, Danny, we've done the little chocolates,
Oh
we've
yes.
done little toys, like the kids get excited about that. And then we've done the print up too, where you're kind of reading a story for the days of Advent, as many as we could. I mean, we weren't super, super disciplined about it, but
Yeah. Did you ever do
I
the catch
really,
up, right? Where they're just like 5 in a
oh
row? Yeah.
my, yes. I think we
Yeah.
might have. I think we might have. But I really love what Focus is offering this year, and we want to do this because it's kind of an upgrade of the print up. My goodness, all the different things that you just talked about, and I'm excited to do that with the kids and really focus on the reason for the season, because I think it can get so hijacked by kind of presents and Santa and all these things. Not that those are bad; they're wonderful, but we want to focus on Jesus as the reason for the season. And so this resource from Focus really, really helps us with that. And our family is excited about it. Well, we have some great stuff coming up for you on this show. Later, we'll hear a question from a listener who wants to know how he can help his son adjust to having a newborn in the home. It's a big transition. But first, we want to share the conversation that we had with you about how you can make the most of the holidays with your family this season.
So Rebecca, Thanksgiving is a fantastic time to spend time as a family,
Mm-hmm.
thinking about what you're
It is.
grateful for. And our family throughout the years has done a variety of things. Let's talk about your family first. What have you guys done for Thanksgiving that's special to you?
So on the Fink side of the family, we actually had this little question jar that was just so special and so awesome in the Fink house out in California. And I think I started doing that maybe while I was engaged or just early married, encountering this great family at Christmas time, and it's just so special. And so I've then brought, some of these questions that can promote conversation around the table at Thanksgiving, because I love that. I love curiosity. I think, we show each other that we love each other through curiosity and asking each other questions and drawing each other out. And so that's been a big part for me
So what are some of
this
the
year,
questions on
actually.
there? What are some of the questions
Oh,
on
I
there,
mean,
Rebecca?
it can just be anything from, what are you thankful for about this past year? What was your highlight of the year? As you go into the new year, what are you um, wanting to move towards that you've learnt this year, that you're thankful that you learnt? Things like that, and some of it can be fun too. Some of it can be silly, but
Wow, what a
I
great
love
tradition.
those times of reflection. Yeah, I really do.
Might have to use that
And
one
then
this year.
oh wow,
Yeah, I might have to use
I'm
that one. I
giving
like
the
it. I like
expert
it.
some.
No, I love it, man. We love trying new things. That sounds like a
Okay,
fun,
good. You haven't done
fun
that
activity. I haven't
one.
done it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
sounds
good.
fun.
I'm so glad. And then we also have done a little jar, like a little thankful jar that we'll have set out um, on on the kitchen island where kids can put in things that they're thankful for too. This year we've also done a little homeschool project where the kids are making kind of an art project about what they're thankful for, and making it beautiful, and I'm planning on them presenting it to the rest of the family. So they've been working on that. So
Wow,
that's been good. And then
presentation.
we do.
Wow.
Oh yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
we got to bring some art
that's
into it.
that's
I've got
great.
2 girls. They're 10 and 6. We got to bring some
With a
art to the
PowerPoint
table.
presentation and the whole thing, right?
Well, not quite that sophisticated,
Yeah.
but we definitely got some colored tape, and they're getting
Oh,
creative
that's
with
fun.
that. And we went to
Fun.
the store and got all kinds of parts to it. But we've done Operation Christmas Child too around this
Oh,
time of
that's
the
great.
year, and that's setting up for Christmas. But it's also, I don't know, there's like a part I think that gets you in that spirit of being thankful for what we've been given, and then giving to others because of that thankfulness. So that's great as well. What about
Yeah.
you, Denny?
One, and then the soup kitchen. There's so many different opportunities around this time of year to
100%.
serve as a family, and you can start early with that, even with neighbors. Cooking a meal for a neighbor, serving them in one way or another. This is a great time to, in some parts of the country, to still mow for someone else, or to rake
You've
leaves or
heard of that done?
shovel. Yeah, yeah.
You've
We're
heard of
probably
that
going to be
done?
mowing here in Colorado after the big snow we got here. They're still green here, which is
Wow.
crazy. So we may be mowing and around Thanksgiving, and so that may be a good thing for someone to do to a neighbor that needs that. But really, it's
Nice.
thinking beyond ourselves, and I
Yep.
love that as preparation for Christmas. And since our kids were little, we would talk about that. That what are you thankful for, and what does that mean? Why is that important to even be thankful? And what you're recognizing is the receiving of something, the receiving of a piece of love from someone else, whether it's a compliment or a gift or something they've done. You're recognizing it, and it helps foster a humble heart. And so, with our kids, we've tried a variety of things. One is a poster board where we put we had the family, as a family, we decorated the poster board, and then we challenged ourselves to put as many different things we're thankful for throughout the year, and then we put it
Hmm.
on the way out by our garage door, so we would keep adding to it and see it on the way out. Kombucha made it on there. So yeah, I mean, it made it
Wow.
on there. We were trying to think of what are all the
Yeah.
different little things that we
That bring joy.
enjoy that we're
Mm.
thankful for. And we
It's great.
started off with relational things. We went to day-to-day things, and we've expanded that. And my daughter had one piece of paper right above her bed, and she would fill that in before she went to bed. And sometimes we'd think of some new ones she'd put there. And her goal was to get as close to 1,085 as she could, because that was her favorite number. If her favorite number would have been 33, it would have been faster. But 1,085, and so she wanted to reach that. And it was fun to think about. You had to really stop and think, what other different things am I thankful for? And it takes a disciplined mind to stop and think about that, and then to take it a step further We one year we had a rolling credits year where you thought about who have been the encouragers, the investors, who have been the people in your life that have been part of your movie, that are part of the
Mm,
rolling credits, and then think about
that's
a few that
cool.
you want to write a note to and commit to doing that throughout the year where you're saying, hey, thank you for investing in my life, or thank you for your encouraging words. So we sat down and wrote the different people that have been part of our rolling credits, and then we shared it as a family. This person did this in my life. That was an investment. This is what it's meant to me. And we noticed that everyone has rolling credits, and
Mm-hmm.
we're thankful for the people in our lives and those relationships we have.
I'm still hung up on Lexi doing 1,085 things she's thankful for. That's about 3 a day for the whole year, right?
Yeah, she didn't
And
get
then
to
she'd be
it.
getting so fast through it.
She,
Wow, that's impressive.
I think she
What did
got
she get to? Do you
close to
remember?
maybe 400-ish.
Man, I'm just
Yeah,
impressed.
and it had to be different. That was part of the rule, and
Wow.
she was
Go
dedicated to that.
Lexi. She's my superhero. That's really, really impressive.
She's
You know,
fun.
I was thinking while you were she's awesome. While you were talking, Danny, about how just being grateful and cultivating gratitude within our families just increases the joy. It really does. I think it promotes this thankfulness to God that every good and perfect gift comes from Him.
Mm.
Every beautiful thing that we have is a gift from God, and it's a sign of His love for us. But it also just encourages joy in relationships and appreciation within relationships. And it's amazing how
Does. Yeah.
appreciation can just increase the love, whether
Mm.
that's in marriage, whether that's appreciating our kids and how they serve within the home and how they give and saying thank you for that. And I see you and see what you give. Appreciating our moms, it's just our
Mm.
dads, like just appreciating each other within the family increases joy. And I love the reminder that Thanksgiving is
Yes.
to cultivate gratitude within the home.
Mm. And one tool that we put together for families is 7 Days of Gratitude. It's actually a free download. We have a
Mm,
download library actually at Focus on the Family that's absolutely free to families, and you get 7 days of gratitude to think about as a family, and that could be a
that's great.
great piece to have alongside of that Advent calendar we're talking about, just in preparation for the Advent season, being grateful for the birth of Christ in our lives, and being thankful that He's coming back, that He's returning, and even thankful for difficult times where there's a shaping and a refining there. And so let's talk about Christmas. What are
Mm-hmm.
some of the traditions that you guys have had in your home on Christmas time?
So it's summer at Christmas in Australia. So we
Yeah,
used to hear all these songs like, you know, I'm dreaming of a white Christmas. And it's
that's
just like,
right.
this is so foreign to us, right? Like it's the
Yeah.
heat of the summer. We'll go swimming on Christmas or around Christmas with the cousins and, get a little Charlie Brown tree and we decorate that, but it was just very like not what you imagine as an American, partaker of Christmas here.
Yeah.
So,
Like the
and
Hallmark
Cubby
movies.
proposed, oh, 100%,
Yeah.
so different. So, and then Cubby proposed actually to me on Christmas Day in 2010. So
Wow.
that's a real special little like
Yeah.
moment that we have in our history.
Mm.
What about you, Danny? What's Christmas like for you?
Well,
What are some of your reflections?
yeah, and I love that. I love that you guys have that as a memory, the proposal
Mm-hmm.
and the
Mm-hmm.
newness for you guys in your relationship. We've had my mom began a gift to Jesus thing with our kids at an early age when we'd gather at my parents' home for Christmas when the kids were really little. We did what was called a gift to Jesus, and you would write down something that you were going to do and commit to as a gift to Him, and then wrap it up and then put it under the tree, remember it, and then the next
Wow.
year you'd give a kind of a story of how that went, the one thing that you
That's
did
so
for
cool.
Jesus. So that was very special. And then what we would do is gather up and talk about what does it mean to have Jesus in our home and in our lives, in the birth
Mm,
of Jesus,
mm.
and what does this mean within our family, within our lives, and just the specialness of the gifting of what He's given us all year long, and that we get to enjoy these gifts. That maintaining that sense of gratitude and giving to others, recognizing that there's a lot of joy in giving. What do you think
Mm-hmm.
with your kids? What has been special for you and Cubby as you see them open up gifts and as you're teaching them about
Mm.
Jesus? What has been what have been some special things you guys have noticed there?
Mm-hmm. I think there's just a wonder component to Christmas that is just so beautiful and so lovely, and it's the giving and it's the receiving and the joy and the family time. And I know it's complex too. There's just so many layers at Christmas time as well. It's definitely not a Hallmark movie or perfect for anyone. There's layers to it, but there is this joy and this giving and this grace, I think, that comes with Christmas. And it's the grace of what Jesus did in coming as a baby and the wonder and the beauty of that. And it's singing these songs that we've heard, so much throughout our
Mm,
life. We're doing a Christmas tour this year, and I'm excited about just
that's great.
singing these lovely songs, with people each night that are just so special and so rich with truth. These Christmas carols. I think the thing that Danny, like probably wrestle with a little bit with Christmas is just making sure that we're really, and I mentioned it earlier, committing to encouraging our kids in the true reason for the season, that
Mm,
it's about Jesus,
it is.
and we we celebrate in a variety of ways, through presents, and Santa does visit our house. But mom and dad have some gifts too. Like, it's a special thing, in that way as well, and the wonder of that. And different families celebrate differently, and have different ways that they enjoy this special season. But I think I just want to make sure as a mom that we're not making it about, you know, Santa too much, and we're not making it about gifts,
Mm,
and we're not making it about what can almost hijack Christmas a little
it
bit, or
can.
become these kind of tricky secular
Hmm.
replacements for what it's really about. And I even think about the songs that we play in our home, sometimes on playlists that can be just all about snow and reindeer and, trees and all of that. And it's not focusing so much on Jesus. And not that any of those songs are bad, but it's like, what's the majority of what we're focusing on? Is it Jesus or is it something else? And so that's the
Hmm.
conviction I have, I think, going into this season is, how can we keep our eyes on Jesus? And I think the Advent calendar really helps with that, because daily you're
It
going,
does.
okay, what is this about? This
Hmm.
content, this truth that we want to focus on within our home. So I'm really thankful for tools like what Focus is providing that can help center us.
Let's just briefly talk about New Year. New Year
Mm,
comes right
mm,
after, and there are a lot of special things families can do during New
mm,
Year's as they welcome, as we all welcome this new year coming in, and the gratitude
mm.
of having a new year of life. What do you guys do in your home?
Well, I just love that New Year's is such a time to kind of look back and reflect on the year and maybe what we've learned as a family or individually. And my husband and I have started doing kind of a word for the year, Danny.
Okay,
So a couple of years
I love
ago,
it.
the word was health, and it was
Mm.
like emotional, spiritual health, relational health, all of these things, and it really did transform our lives. Even what we were reading that year was, very informative to how we lived. So we kind of have this word for the year, and that's really special. But I'm
And how do you guys
excited
come up with
even.
that word, Rebecca? Is that something you and
Um,
Cubby talk about or pray about together?
Probably more individually. It's just kind
Mm.
of a sense that we've had from the Holy Spirit about what He's leading us into. And so even lately, I've just been praying about what mine might be for 25. And so, yeah, it's really a very kind of personal, like seeking God about it, asking Him for that sense of what He's going to do and what kind of season He's leading us into. But I think that particular year, this Cub and I had the same word. It was both for both of us, health, and it really did impact us a lot. So, but I'm looking forward to reflecting with the kids too on this year, and also thinking about goals for the upcoming year. How do we want to do family life
Yeah,
different? How do you
yeah.
want to do your individual life different? It's awesome. I
And then do you
love
guys
the
share
reset.
those? Do you guys share those goals with each
Yes.
other? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're moving more and more into that as our kids are kind of getting older and can engage on, ideas like that. And so it's a really sweet family time that we're coming into because the girls especially can engage on that level, and it's really sweet.
We've tried to instill this discipline is to look at the pictures from the previous year
Hmm.
and just kind of reflect on all the different things we got to do this past year,
Wow, I
and
love
reflecting
that.
on the memories that those pictures bring to kind of solidify the
Mm,
experiences rather than just moving
it's
on from
good.
them.
It's good.
And we've tried to kind of give our own takes of what those either vacations or experiences, our own story of what those pictures bring.
Wow,
And
love
it's a fun
that.
discussion. But New Year's Day and New Year's Eve sometimes can get kind of busy. You're playing board games, or you're with friends. New Year's Day, maybe you get up late, and then you may want to go outside because it's so nice. But this takes
Mm,
time. It takes intentionality of sitting down, looking at the
it's good.
pictures. And if you're like our family, we take a lot of pictures, so it can take a long time to go through all the memories that happened during the year.
Yeah,
But it's fun. It
that's
really helps
amazing
you
though.
remember them. And you go, oh, no way,
Yes.
that
Oh,
was
I
this
love that. I
year.
might use that.
Excellent. See,
Yeah,
look at
I
that.
love that, Danny.
We're going to try new things this
Oh,
year,
I
Rebecca.
gave you something, you gave me something. This is great. No,
Season
I
of giving.
love that concept. A season of giving. Thank you. This is what we do here at Focus on the
That's
Family,
right.
everybody. We just give you ideas. No, that's really, really helpful. And I think reflecting like that is just so beautiful, and reflecting with our children and making it that bonding experience. And so thank you, Danny, for giving that idea. I think it might become a Fink family tradition.
Nice. Look at that.
Yeah.
Woo! All right, yeah. But New Year's, it's fun to reflect, but also look forward, and looking
Mm.
forward to a lot more episodes here with you, Rebecca, as we
Mm-hmm. Yep.
pour into families. And
It's a joy.
our hope is that we're life giving to you as we
Mm.
have these conversations. And let us know what
We're
your
thankful.
traditions have been. And
Yeah.
Thanksgiving, at Christmas, and New Year's. We love to hear from you. We're talking all the time here. We'd love to have you share with us some of your traditions and your memories, and even some recommendations you have around this season. We'd love to hear from you.
Mm-hmm. Speak up. We'd love it. Well, it's time for our weekly Q&A. This week's question comes from a dad named Kevin, who asked, Hi, Danny and Rebecca. I'm curious how me and my wife can help our 3-year-old son adjust to life with our newborn daughter. Ever since she was born, he calls for extra attention and tries to pull us away from the baby. He has yet to show any affection for her. Thank you. Wow, Kevin, man, my heart just goes out to you. That's really challenging and probably really hard to see too, that your son is kind of torn and feeling kind of maybe some of his throne has been usurped by this
This
new daughter, new sister. There's been a takeover. But yeah, that's hard to navigate. And I remember, early on feeling some of this too, with having a second child. And I remember my mom, speaking into it. I'm the oldest of 7, and so she had a lot of different transitions with different children. And she just said, while you're having a kind of a quiet moment, especially me as a mom, if I'm feeding the baby, I can have my arm around, the second child, our daughter, Imogen. Imogen in my hands and my arms, feeding her, and then have our oldest Gemma underneath my arm, reading her a story or sewing into her or looking her in the eyes and giving to her and embracing her. She also encouraged me, my mom did, to see Gemma as a big helper. And wow, mommy really needs you to be a big helper. And this is a big adjustment in our family. And can you help me with this particular task, within the home, because I need you. And that was really helpful to have a sense of purpose for that older child. And then that I remember also getting a little gift from the baby for Gemma. So, around that time of the birth and all these big adjustments, actually just getting a little gift that baby Imogen gave to big sister Gemma, at this important occasion in family life. And so those were some of the things that did help. But it is just that transition that sometimes you just have to ride through too. That's going to be a little rocky and a little much for everybody initially, but it will settle in. Danny, what would you say?
Yeah, those
I'm
are
sure you've
great.
got
Great
some
responses.
good
Love it.
thoughts.
Yeah, it's a
Thank
very
you.
common thing. I mean, it is a shakeup of the norm for the child, and they don't understand the full shakeup. They just know they were anticipating and excited that there's going to be a baby, and all of a sudden, and they didn't know what that totally meant until it happened, and then all of a sudden you have this big adjustment. And the helper one is the most common one that is really, really a good one, very, very helpful for parents. And what I've recommended parents do is get a little shirt that says a little helper, or just a special helper shirt where they know they're in helper mode. And you can tell your 3-year-old son, you can say, hey, you're my special helper. Maybe you guys get matching shirts because they love that. They love the matching things. So you have the matching shirt that you're my helper now, and this is what I need you to get for me. And you give him little jobs to do while you're caring for the baby and in between, which takes a lot of patience. It will take extra time to vacuum or do other things. You can even get a 3-year-old a little tiny toy vacuum that they can do next to you while you're vacuuming, and they are feeling important with that. Even though they're doing work, they don't know that it's work. It's an activity. To them, it can almost be play. While it's work, they know at that point that it's just really play until we define it as work. They really see it as, I'm just getting to do something with other people. And so carve out one-on-one time as well. If you're able to do that, the reading of the book, Rebecca, you were alluding to that, when there's feeding taking place and they're quiet and they're sleeping, and the baby is, then your 3-year-old son, you can pull out a favorite book. If you're going to be in charge of maybe cleanup or other things in your baby's room, what you could do is that's when an ultra special toy is unlocked and gets to come out. When they're going to have alone time, that's the only time that toy comes out. Otherwise, it's put away. And so they do look forward to some of that alone time with that toy, because it has a special time that it comes out, and it's when they're having to do alone time play. And that it can be a variety of things, and you'll learn over time what your 3-year-old son loves to play with. And maybe you guys go shopping, pick that toy, it's put away until there's that time that you're needing for them to be on their own. And my suggestion is don't use screen time for that. And really the key word here is adjust. Your child is adjusting, so be patient with it. It takes some time to adjust. And the more you show him affection and then model showing affection to your baby and loving the baby, the more he'll mirror that over time. And one last thing that has worked with many families is one we've talked about on the show a lot, and that is having a jar with some type of either cotton balls or marbles or even paper clips. And what you do is every time that they're being a really good helper or they are showing affection to the baby, you grab a handful of whatever those objects are and put it in the marble, and you mark a certain spot. And when it gets to that spot, once it gets there, you get to do something really fun for about 5 minutes. And so you can put a timer on, and it's just playtime. You can have a little dance party with music or something that you do to show that, hey, we reached a goal, it's exciting, and you're showing very focused attention on them, and it's a way to get positive attention rather than negative attention. So those are just a few ideas as you problem solve with your unique 3-year-old son.
So good, Danny. Thank you so much. And thank you, Kevin, for your question. And if you are listening and you have a question for us, please send it in. We would love to answer. You can click the link in the show notes or go to practicemakesparent.com and click the button on the side of our show page to submit a voicemail. And if your voicemail gets selected, we'd love to send you a free copy of Danny's book, 7 Traits of Effective Parenting, as our way to say thank you for interacting with the show.
Well, we hope that this episode gave you some great ideas, some practical tips on celebrating the holidays in a special way with your kids this year.
And that's just one of the reasons why we love doing this podcast, because our goal is to equip parents like you with practical tools that you can use in your everyday life with your kids. Thank you very much for listening.
I'm Dr. Danny Huerta.
And I'm Rebecca St. James. Join us next week for more tips for transforming your parenting on Practice Makes Parent.